Level 11, Razor Edge, the first of the game's hidden levels, and to emphasise its connection with the previous level, it does have the same walls and colour scheme. I think this one does continue the tradition of being slightly easier to compensate for the fact that you have to do 2 levels at once, but it can be quite confusing when you first encounter it. For instance, because it's not clear in this first room that you have to blow open exits in 2 directions. So we push this jar down here before releasing the fish onto it, and then we use the bomb to get an exit in the left-hand side. Now over here, push the chicken and jar up like that. The jar blows up a fish so that we can free the teleporter. On this side we must be careful. One of these masks is a frowning one, but there's another frowning mask up there, so the 2 will cancel each other out quite handily. Here we push this doll up so that the chicken can be brought onto the jar to free that mask. We're not continuing any further up because it's not possible to access the door from this side. You'll see why later. Continuing down here, this puzzle's quite a neat one. We have to use the dolls to make a bridge for the chicken to be brought onto the bomb, and it's done like this. And now we can come along the top of the level. Not much difficult in this room, but that jar that goes flying through the wall when I blow it open does help to suggest why I'm doing this part left to right order. We finally get our first map piece, and down here that bomb is going to be used to create access to the door from this side, because as you can now see, if we'd tried to access it from the other side, that fish would have fallen in front and blocked it off permanently. After blowing up this bomb, we can't really go much further here because the chickens would block our path, so let's switch over to Magus, who also has a pretty difficult puzzle for his first room, not least because it's not clear which square we need to detonate that jar on. It turns out that we need to bring it to the far left, and the way to do it is like this, using the dolls to hold the fish in place so that the fish and dolls together can be used as a bridge for the chicken to come and detonate the jar. As I say, this is one of the harder puzzles on the level. In the room above, just push that doll there to hold the bomb for a moment. We do have to blow up that sad mask, but there's another one immediately afterwards, so no damage done. To get into the lower room with only bombs and no jars, we'll need 2, one to blow up the corner square and one to blow up the square next to it. But as you can see from the 3 chickens, we are now at the place where the 2 shields join onto each other, so we can blow up that bomb and head to the left to bring the other bomb across. All this is very familiar tactics now. And in the lower room we can block off that mask, because we can use the 2 shields together to bring the chicken onto that jar and free it again. Now we head upwards. Getting those 4 masks is quite tricky. Clearly we need to use that explosive jar, but how can we reach it without being killed? Well, we have to release the chickens so that they lock it off temporarily. We're going to free them again with this explosive jar, like that. Then we can push this jar and chicken to the far left, giving us access to these masks, and now we can see from the map that all the remaining masks seem to be in one large conglomeration in this room, so let's head up here. Leave 1 shield there for now so that the jar and chicken can be moved across it, but we don't move the chicken yet because we need to move over here and push the jar into position first. Then we can go back and get the chicken. Nothing too difficult here, but now this doll does have to be moved into position precisely there so that the fish can come down and be dropped onto the explosive jar. That's how we get this conglomeration of masks. And now Magus is free to head for the door. and we're going to get our letter. Remember, this is the 10th out of 12, because each pair of linked levels only gives us 1. In this case, it's a C. See you next time.